Would you believe me if I told you that a regular-looking 1965 Washington quarter, yes, the one sitting in your pocket change, could be worth up to $1.80 million in this video? We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and mysterious coins in American history, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter. By the end, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the ultra-rare version, and why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for it. So don't blink. You might miss $1 million detail. Let's rewind to 1965. The U.S. Mint was in crisis. Silver prices were skyrocketing, and Americans were hoarding silver coins, especially quarters, half dollars, and dimes. To combat the shortage, the Mint made a major change. It removed all silver content from quarters and dimes. Starting mid-1965, quarters were made with a copper-nickel-clad composition instead of 90% silver. And here's the kicker. Because of this transition, no quarters in 1965 carried a mint mark, not even the ones struck in Denver or San Francisco. But this is where things get interesting. A handful, maybe even just one, of these 1965 quarters wasn't made with the new copper-nickel planchet. It was mistakenly struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet from 1964. That simple minting error transformed an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. A silver quarter dated 1965. It shouldn't exist. But it does. And collectors are hunting for it relentlessly. One such coin surfaced in pristine condition and made headlines. Graded by PCGS as SP68. That's specimen 68 for you coin geeks. It was authenticated as a 1965 quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet. It later sold, reportedly, for an astonishing $1.8 million to a private collector. That's more than most luxury cars, more than many homes, so why the high price, rarity, condition, historical context, and a mysterious story that's still unfolding today. How can you tell if you have the $1 million quarter? A regular 1965 quarter clad weighs about 5.67 grams. The silver one weighs approximately 6.25 grams. The edge of a clad quarter shows a copper-colored stripe. A silver quarter? Solid silver looking all around. Tap a silver quarter gently. It rings with a higher pitch than the dull clunk of a clad one. Look at the coin's details, sharpness of the strike, any unusual luster, and signs of being struck with earlier dies. Be warned, because of the quarter's fame, fakes are everywhere. Don't trust color alone. Some scammers silver-dip clad coins. It might look silver, but the weight and edge will expose the truth. Check authenticity. Always get rare finds graded by reputable agencies like PCGS or NGC. Avoid altered dates. Some fakes are made by shaving a 1964 quarter to look like 1965. Experts can spot this instantly. When in doubt, consult a professional before you sell or buy. Even if you don't find the silver 1965 quarter, don't walk away disappointed. There are other valuable 1965 quarters out there. Double die errors can fetch hundreds, sometimes thousands. Off-center strikes, depending on the error, can go for $100 to $500 plus. Wrong planchet errors, like being struck on a dime planchet, these are highly collectible, so check every quarter. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. The 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter might just be the holy grail of modern coins. So next time you get change back, don't just toss those quarters in a jar. Check the date. Weigh it. Look at the edge, because your quarter might be worth $1.8 million. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin treasure hunts, and let us know in the comments, what's the rarest coin you've ever found? We're diving into a truly mind-blowing story, a 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter that could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right, a simple quarter turning everyday people into millionaires. So don't skip this one, you could be sitting on a jackpot without even knowing it. Let's uncover the secrets behind this coin, what makes it rare, how to spot one, and whether that change in your pocket might just change your life. First, let's talk a bit about the coin itself. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, honoring the first president of the United States, George Washington. But the year 1966 was a strange time for coins in America. In 1965, due to a silver shortage, the U.S. Mint stopped producing 90% silver quarters. From that point on, quarters were made with a copper-nickel clad composition. And that's when things started to get interesting. Most U.S. coins carry a mint mark to show where they were made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But quarters from 1965 to 1967 were intentionally struck without any mint mark at all. This was done to discourage coin hoarding during the silver transition period. So, the absence of a mint mark on a 1966 quarter isn't unusual. In fact, it's expected. But here's where the twist begins. Not all 1966 quarters are created equal, and some extremely rare ones break all the rules. A small number of 1,966 quarters have surfaced that exhibit extraordinary features, like minting errors, proof-like finishes, or wrong planchet strikes. These are not your average coins. Some collectors believe that a few 1966 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from before 1965. These coins might look normal at a glance, but under close inspection, they have different weight, tone, and edge characteristics. A clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but a silver one weighs around 6.25 grams. That small difference could mean thousands, or even millions. So where does the $1.6 million figure come from? According to online buzz and auction rumors, a near-perfect example of a 1966 quarter with a rare minting error and uncirculated condition was appraised, or at least allegedly offered, for as much as $1.6 million. Though these sales aren't always publicly confirmed, private collectors with deep pockets are known to pay astronomical sums for coins with this level of rarity. It's the combination of condition, error, and mystery that fuels these sky-high prices. Want to see if you've got one? Here's what to look for. No mint mark, expected, but double-check unusual weight. If it's closer to 6.25 grams, get a tested mirror-like finish. Proof-like shine could mean a rare specimen misstrikes or doubled dies. Use a magnifying glass send to PCGS or NGC for authentication. And remember, even a regular 1966 quarter in mint state condition can be worth $20 to $300 or more, depending on quality. While most 1966 quarters are common, the rare few that stand out have made headlines and sparked treasure hunts around the country. The idea that a 25-cent coin could turn into $1 million payday? It's the ultimate collector's dream. So check your change. Look at your coin jars, your grandma's drawer, and don't forget yard sales and flea markets. That next quarter you pick up might just make you a millionaire. If you found this video helpful or exciting, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin breakdowns, and share this with your friends. You never know who might be holding a fortune in their pocket. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next video on ultra-rare coins you should be looking out for. 1967 No Mint Mark Washington Quarter. Is it rare? Why is it so valuable? What makes one of these quarters worth millions while others are just pocket change? Let's find out. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It quickly became a permanent fixture in U.S. currency. From 1932 to 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But by 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in circulating quarters. From 1965 onward, quarters were made from a copper-nickel clad composition. And here's something crucial. In 1967, the U.S. Mint didn't use mint marks at all, as a way to discourage coin hoarding during the coin shortage of the 1960s. So technically, every 1967 quarter lacks a mint mark, whether it was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Over 1.5 billion quarters were minted that year, making it one of the most common coins from the 60s. But here's the twist. Some of these quarters have unique features, rare errors, or ultra-high grades that make them worth big money to collectors. And in one jaw-dropping case, a specimen level 1967 quarter sold for over $1.8 million. Let's talk about the legendary 1967 quarter that fetched a whopping $1.8 million at auction. This coin was in specimen 68 plus condition, which means it was struck with extraordinary care, likely as part of a special mint set, and preserved perfectly. It had a mirror-like surface, razor-sharp details, and barely any blemishes. Only a handful of quarters from 1967 have ever achieved this grade, and none in better condition. Collectors will pay top dollar for coins like this, because they're essentially perfect representations of the coin for that year. Okay, now you're probably wondering, could your 1967 quarter be worth a fortune? Here's what to look for: the coin must be in exceptional, uncirculated condition. If it's scratched, worn, or discolored, it's likely only worth face value. Rare misstrikes, doubled dies, off-centers, or missing elements can boost value. Specimen or proof-like strikes from 1967 are rare, and often found in special mint sets. Only a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm the quality, and assign a value that collectors will trust. If you think you have something special, don't clean the coin, that will destroy its value. Handle it carefully and get a second opinion. Even if your quarter isn't worth $1.8 million, there are other rare and valuable 1967 quarters out there, worth up to $500 depending on condition. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable. Where part of the coin is missing from the edge. Small flaws during minting that collectors love. These coins may be hiding in your change jar, and some are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The value of a coin is determined by three main things: how many exist in similar or better condition? Are collectors actively seeking it? A higher grade means a higher price, especially with coins from mass-produced years like 1967. A regular circulated 1967 quarter might be worth 25 cents. But a mint condition, perfectly struck, ultra-rare quarter? That's where the big bucks are. So, should you go hunting through your coin jars? Absolutely. Even though 1967 quarters are common, a few of them, with the right condition, the right strike, or a rare error, can be worth serious money. And hey, what if you're the one who finds the next $1 million coin? If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and comment below if you have a 1967 quarter, or any rare coin you want us to review in a future video. 1980p mint mark Washington quarter could fetch a fortune. So if you're into coin collecting or just want to check your spare change for hidden gems, stick around. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, commemorating the 200th birthday of our first president. By 1980, these quarters were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver. That year, coins were struck at three major U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint used a P mint mark, one of the first years they consistently did so. So what makes the 1980p quarter so special? Millions were produced, over 635 million, so rarity alone isn't the full story. Let's break down how a common coin can skyrocket in value. Minting errors. Coins with striking mistakes are often prized by collectors. Condition, grade. The closer a coin is to perfect uncirculated condition, the more valuable it becomes. Rarity and demand. If only a few high-grade examples exist, prices soar. Historical significance or unique features. These include off-metal strikes, double dies, or design anomalies. So when we talk about a 1980p quarter worth $1.6 million, it's not just any quarter. It's one with an exceptional story. In 2023, reports emerged about a 1980p Washington quarter that fetched a valuation close to $1.6 million. Experts believe it was an ultra-rare era coin, possibly an off-metal strike, like being struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, or an extremely rare double die obverse. What really set it apart? It was authenticated and graded at an exceptionally high level, like MS 68 or above, virtually flawless. And remember, For coins minted in the hundreds of millions, high-grade survivors are exceedingly rare. Some insiders even speculate it may have been a pattern coin, a prototype never intended for public circulation. While $1,000,000 1980p quarters are ultra-rare, several valuable era varieties exist from that year, including double die obverse, doubling seen in the date, or lettering off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, clipped planchets, part of the coin's edge is missing due to minting error, struck on the wrong planchet, for example, a quarter struck on a nickel or foreign coin blank. Coins with these types of errors can fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition. Want to know if your 1980 quarter is valuable? Here's what to do. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check for doubling, off-center strikes, or strange edges. The fewer scratches, the better. Uncirculated coins are best. A standard 1980 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Deviations might signal a wrong planchet error. Send it to PCGS or NGC, the top grading companies. A professional assessment can skyrocket your coin's credibility and value. While most 1980p quarters in circulation are worth 25 cents, here's what rare examples have sold for. A double die error sold for $400, $700. A high-grade MS-67 Plus quarter fetched over $3,500. That rumored $1.6 million sale allegedly involved a private auction, making verification difficult, but it underscores how rare anomalies are taken very seriously in the collector community. So, could you be holding $1 million coin without even knowing it? It's not impossible. Check your pocket change, old collections, and inherited coin jars, because the next big discovery might be sitting in your kitchen drawer. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future coin treasure hunts. Got a rare coin story or question? Drop it in the comments. We love hearing from our viewers. 1981p quarter, why it's so rare, what to look for, and how to tell if you have one of these multi-million-dollar treasures in your pocket change. Money bag, don't blink, because even the tiniest detail could make $1 million difference. First, let's talk history. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932, originally minted to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Since then, it's become a staple of American currency. But not all quarters are created equal. In 1981, quarters were minted in 3 locations. The P mint mark designates Philadelphia. While these were produced in large numbers, one tiny error or variety can turn a common coin into a fortune. Now here's where it gets fascinating. The 1981p quarter gained legendary status in the coin world due to rare die varieties, errors, and an unusual high-grade proof-like example discovered in pristine condition, sold at auction for a staggering $1.8 million. But what makes that specific coin so special? It had full strike details, meaning nowhere at all it featured an off-center minting error, and it was certified by PCGS as MS-68 Plus. One of a kind, this coin became a unicorn, the highest graded example ever found, with perfect surfaces and unmatched eye appeal. Let's say you found a 1981 quarter. How do you know if it's worth anything? Look just above the R in quarter. You should see a small P for Philadelphia. Some of the most valuable quarters have these rare features: double die obverse, DDO, doubling in God we trust, off-center strike, clipped planchet, broad struck errors. Only coins in mint state, MS-65 and higher, are worth big money. Look for sharp details, no scratches, full luster. Use a jeweler's loupe and bright light. Compare with reference images from PCGS or NGC. In 2021, a rare 1981p quarter graded MS-68 Plus by PCGS sold at auction for $1.8 million. That's not a myth, it's confirmed. Why the sky-high price? Population of 1. The only known coin of its kind, fierce competition among collectors, the thrill of owning the highest graded Washington quarter from that year. Even lower grades like MS-65 to MS-67 can sell for $500 to $5,000, depending on demand and rarity. Show auction footage, coin registry charts. Think you have a valuable 1981p quarter? Here's what to do next: don't clean it. Cleaning lowers value. Store it safely in a coin flip or holder. Submit it to a professional grading service like these companies will authenticate, grade, and preserve your coin in a sealed slab, giving buyers confidence and boosting value. The 1981 P quarter is usually common, but rare versions can be life-changing. A perfect, rare era coin in MS68 plus condition sold for $1.8 million. Look for mint errors, high-grade condition, and get it certified. Your change jar could hold a hidden gem. So take the time, flip through your quarters, and who knows? You could strike silver, or even gold. If you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin videos, and drop a comment if you've ever found an unusual coin. Who knows, we might feature your story next. 1983 P Mint Mark Washington Quarter, and the story behind claims of its supposed $1.6 million value. The script includes an engaging hook, historical background, detailed coin analysis, myths versus facts, and a strong call to action for viewers. What if I told you that a 25-cent coin from 1983 could be worth a whopping $1.6 million? That's right, one humble Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia, may just make you a millionaire. But is this too good to be true? Let's dig deep into the coin collecting world and uncover the shocking truth behind the 1983 P Washington quarter. Smash that like button if you're a coin lover or just curious about hidden treasures in your pocket change. Now, let's get into the mystery. To understand why the 1983 P quarter has stirred up so much buzz, we need to rewind to the early 1980s. In 1982 and 1983, the United States Mint did not issue uncirculated mint sets due to budget constraints. This meant collectors couldn't get pristine coins directly from the mint. Everything had to be pulled from circulation. That makes any well-preserved coin from 1983, especially from circulation, extremely rare in high grades. And the P Mint mark? That stands for the Philadelphia Mint. The first time it appeared on a quarter was just 3 years earlier, in 1980. Now, what makes some of these quarters so valuable? Let's break it down. Most 1983 quarters have purse strikes, soft details, and weak rims. Some of the most valuable coins are error coins, like the famous spitting eagle variety, where a die crack makes it look like the eagle is spitting. A 1983 P quarter graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC is rare, and can sell for thousands. One particularly pristine example of the 1983 P quarter, graded MS67 Plus by PCGS, sold for over $15,000 at auction. And yes, that's $15,000 for a 25-cent coin. So where does the $1.6 million number come from? Well, it's a classic case of online exaggeration. A few viral TikTok and YouTube videos began circulating claims that a 1983 P quarter sold for over $1 million. However, no credible auction houses, like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, have ever recorded such a sale. Unfortunately, many of these rumors are fueled by clickbait or misidentified coins. Still, it doesn't mean your 1983 quarter is worthless. Here's a quick breakdown of what your 1983 P quarter might be worth, depending on its condition. To find out your coin's true value, you'll need a magnifier, good lighting, and if it looks promising, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Be very careful with claims online. Scammers often post fake listings or altered coins with added mint marks or counterfeit features. If a coin is listed for $1 million on a random website, run. Stick with reputable auction houses and verify any claims with trusted coin graders or dealers. The odds of finding $1 million 1983 P quarter? Slim. But finding one worth a few hundred, or even a few thousand? Absolutely possible. Especially if it's a rare era coin or in pristine condition. So next time you're checking your spare change, keep an eye out for that 1983 P quarter. It might just be a small jackpot waiting to be discovered. Like, comment, and subscribe if you love coin hunting or want more deep dives like this one. And don't forget to check your pockets. Treasure might be closer than you think. 1984 D Washington quarter. Can it really be worth up to $1.8 million? Is this coin a hidden treasure, or is it just internet hype? Stick around, because we're diving into the facts, the values, the varieties, and the real reason why some collectors are going crazy over this quarter. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American pocket change since 1932. The version minted in 1984 is no different in its design, George Washington on the obverse, and the eagle on the reverse. Now, in 1984, there were 3 major mint locations producing quarters. The 1984 D quarter had a massive mintage. Over 546 million coins were produced at the Denver Mint alone. So with that many out there, why is one of these supposedly worth nearly $2 million? You may have seen headlines or TikToks claiming a 1984 D quarter sold for $1.8 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, that's because it is a bit misleading. There is no confirmed public auction where a 1984 D quarter sold for that amount. However, there are some extremely rare varieties and mint errors from 1984 that could fetch thousands, and possibly more in private sales under the right conditions. So let's break down what makes some 1984 D quarters valuable, and what makes one particular coin so legendary. When determining the value of a coin, collectors consider mintage numbers. The fewer made, the rarer. Condition or grade coins are graded from PL1 to MS70. Mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and more. Varieties, design changes, small details, or transitional pieces. So while 1984 D quarters are common in general, specific errors or high-grade examples can be worth serious money. Here's where things get interesting. A very small number of 1984 D quarters show signs of major die errors, such as double die obverse (DDO), where the date or the word Liberty looks double off-center strikes. The coin looks like it's been printed off kilter. Clipped planchets. A chunk is missing from the edge. And the most valuable? A rumored coin struck on a wrong planchet, possibly silver or foreign metal. One of these rare errors, if in pristine condition and authenticated by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, could be worth tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the right buyer. Some sources claim such a coin fetched up to $1.8 million, but the details of that sale are extremely murky and likely speculative. Want to know if your 1984 D quarter is worth big bucks? Here's what to do. Look for the D mint mark on the front, next to Washington's ponytail. Examine the coin with a magnifying glass or digital microscope. Check for doubling on the date, Liberty, or I in God we trust. Inspect for any signs of errors, missing pieces, odd textures, off-center images. Check the edge. Does it look silver? That might mean it was struck on a wrong planchet. If you think you've got something special, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading and authentication. A coin in MS67 plus condition with a rare error could be life-changing. Circulated examples are worth 25 cents to $1. Uncirculated coins can bring $5 to $30, depending on the grade. MS67 or higher graded coins with no errors can sell for $200 to $500. Rare error coins, they could fetch $1,000 to $10,000 or more. But remember, those $1 million coins are extraordinary, and most claims online are exaggerations or hoaxes. So, is the 1984 D quarter worth $1.8 million? Probably not, unless you've got that 1 in a billion error coin. But don't underestimate your pocket change. Even common coins can have hidden gems. If you learned something today, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin content, and tell us in the comments, what's the rarest coin you've ever found? 1986 P Washington quarter might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American coinage since 1932. But in 1986, something unique happened, something that makes a Philadelphia minted quarter incredibly valuable today. But before we dive into the $1 million mystery, let's rewind. In 1986, the U.S. Mint produced 551 million quarters in Philadelphia alone. So why would one be worth millions? That brings us to errors, rarity, and one-of-a-kind anomalies. To understand why a 1986 quarter might be worth more than a Lamborghini, we have to look at 3 key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Not all coins are created equal. Most 1986 P quarters are worth, well, 25 cents. But if you find one with a minting error, a high grade from PCGS or NGC, or a unique die variety, then you're in business. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. This rumor of a 1986 P quarter that sold or was appraised for $1.7 million. Is it real? What makes it so special? One theory is that this coin has a major double die, where the design was struck twice, slightly offset, creating a dramatic doubling effect. These are extremely rare and sought after. Another possibility is that it's a transitional error, struck on the wrong planchet, like a silver or experimental metal. These mistakes are rare but known to fetch 6 or even 7 figures. So far, no public auction shows a $1.7 million sale of a 1986 P quarter, but private collectors sometimes pay insane premiums for ultra-rare, undocumented varieties. If you think you've got a special coin, don't clean it. That can destroy its value. Instead, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A 1986 P quarter graded MS67 or MS68 can be worth hundreds, or even thousands. Combine that with a dramatic error? Now we're talking serious money. So how do you know if your 1986 quarter is special? Here's a checklist. Check for doubling, especially in the date, motto, or liberty. Examine the edge. Is it silver? Different color? Weigh it. Standard clad quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Off-metal errors may weigh less or more. Use a magnifying glass. Look for die cracks, cuds, or odd features. Search for high-grade condition, minimal wear, strong strike. And remember, if in doubt, get it looked at by an expert. One-of-a-kind variety plus top condition? The sky's the limit. The $1.7 million figure may not be verifiable in public records, but it illustrates the excitement and potential of rare coins. Even a common date can surprise you. So, is your 1986 P quarter worth $1.7 million? Probably not, but it might be worth a lot more than 25 cents. The only way to know is to look closely. If you've got a 1986 quarter, drop a comment below. I'll help you figure out if it's worth grading. 1987 Washington quarter, the one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth up to $1.6 million. That's right. One coin. One D mint mark. One jaw-dropping story. But is it real? Or is this viral claim just a myth? Let's dig deep and uncover the truth behind the legendary 1987 D Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been part of American history since 1932, introduced to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. But by 1987, most of these coins were ordinary, made of copper nickel, not silver, and mass-produced in the hundreds of millions. The D you see beneath Washington's neck? That indicates the coin was minted in Denver, one of the 3 major mints that year: Philadelphia, No Mark, San Francisco, S, and Denver, D. In 1987 alone, over 655 million quarters were struck at the Denver Mint. So what makes one single coin stand out as being worth over $1 million? To understand why some coins skyrocket in value, you have to know what collectors, or numismatists, look for. These can create one-of-a-kind pieces. The better the state, the higher the value. Where and how it was found. In 1987 D quarter, in regular circulated condition, is typically worth 25 cents. In uncirculated condition, say graded MS65, it might fetch $5 to $20. So how does one jump to $1.60 million? The claim of a 1987 D quarter being worth $1.6 million exploded online through collector blogs, viral TikToks, and YouTube shorts. But here's the twist. There's no official auction record of a 1987 D Washington quarter selling for anywhere near $1.6 million. Not by Heritage Auctions, not by PCGS, not by any trusted numismatic authority. So where did the number come from? Some speculate there may be an ultra-rare mint error, like a double die obverse, off-metal strike, or a wrong planchet, that could theoretically make the coin worth a fortune. But as of now, no verified specimen has been publicly documented. That said, it's not all just hype. There are valuable varieties of Washington quarters out there. Here's what to check for in your 1987 D quarter. Look for doubling in the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." If the coin has a crescent-shaped clip missing from the edge, it could be worth $100 or more. The more dramatic, the more valuable. Like a quarter struck on a nickel blank. Those can go for thousands, and don't forget condition matters. A pristine MS-67 Plus coin could be rare even without errors. If you believe you've found something special, don't clean it, ever. That can ruin its value. Instead, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. These companies will verify if your coin is rare and assign a grade that can significantly impact the market value. So, is there really a $1.6 million 1987 D Washington quarter? So far, no confirmed public sale says yes. But the world of rare coins is full of surprises. Keep your eyes open, because treasure can be in your change jar.